Yo, what is going on, you guys? So today I'm bringing guys a brand new sports cards video. In today's video, I'm going to be having an honest conversation with you guys about overprinting in the sports card market, and really what I believe you guys should be doing to prepare yourselves, and how you could really honestly take advantage of it. So I know I made one of these videos probably a few months ago, and I will start by saying my views have changed a little bit. And I will be honest, you can go back, check out that video. But there's one main reason why my views have changed quite a lot. And that is because Fanatics is now in control of the whole sports card market, essentially. At least that's where it's looking like it's going to. They've, of course, acquired Topps, and they are really starting to get into the sports card market, acquire companies, and really start their marketing. And I think that's going to be absolutely huge in terms of the long-term future of the sports card market, and what that does for prices in general. So, of course, we have Luka Doncic's Prism PSA 10 at a pop of over 18,000 PSA 10s alone, not to mention any other grades, any other grading companies, all the ones that are left ungraded right now. If we look at Zion, over 21,000 PSA 10s alone. So these look to be really huge numbers. And given the current state of the sports card market, these are very big numbers, and hence why during the last year, we have seen Luka Doncic's base prism continuously go down no matter how great he has played. We've seen Zion Williamson's Prism PSA 10 really decline throughout the last year. And we are seeing a lot of bigger base, cards with incredibly high populations really go down in price. Even, for example, greats such as Kobe Bryant. His Topps PSA 10 is really suffering due to the high population, along with other factors, of course. But I really just wanted to talk about the overprinting, and kind of the fear everyone has. So in my personal opinion, I'm going to take a little bit more of a macro perspective here. And Fanatics, who is essentially coming in to the sports card market, and there's so many big executives there, Josh Luber, Michael Rubin, top of the top, people. Fanatics is worth over $20 billion, right? So a lot of these big investors are really believing in the long term of the sports card market. And Fanatics has a fan base of over 80 million sports fans worldwide. And if we're looking at these pop numbers in relation to that, if Fanatics truly does a good job marketing, I do not believe that these pop numbers will be an issue in the long term. But that is four cards, four players that end up reaching their potential. So I do want to start by saying that, like, everything I'm saying in this video is going to go towards the young stars that end up being, greats one day, right? And going towards those players that are already great. Of course, if you buy Zion's cards and sports cards continue to blow up, and it becomes super popular, we see them in the arenas, we see sports cards being advertised everywhere. If Zion ends up tearing his Achilles, you could still be down on that card. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that I truly believe that in the grand scheme of things, with the potential that Fanatics has to take this to the mainstream, I personally believe that an 18,000 population for a Luka Doncic, staple rookie card is going to hold up in the long term. Now, of course, there's still better investments, the silver or the Prism Gold, that could have incredible, long-term upside, and potentially more upside than the base Prism itself. But I definitely believe that overprinting is not as big of an issue as it is right now. And I'll give another example to kind of make my point a little bit stronger. I'm not sure how many of you guys are familiar with the sneaker market, Air Jordans in particular, right? They, at first, we went through a period where we were seeing that demand was not really meeting supply, and a lot of shoes were not reselling. And I know it's come down a little bit recently, but if we look at Nike and Air Jordan releasing 100,000 plus pairs of each colorway, literally on a weekly basis, multiple shoes a week, they're releasing hundreds of thousands of them. And demand can still keep up, and prices can still stay above retail prices. And there's so much demand over that. I truly believe, given the amount of sports fans, given the amount of young businessmen nowadays who are into crypto, who are into a lot of other things, I guess semi along the lines of sports cards, I believe that, overall, if we can get even a fraction of Fanatics user base into sports cards. And keep in mind, Fanatics is likely going to give a small percentage, a royalty to NBA teams and NBA players for their sports card sales. And if we're starting to see LeBron, Steph Curry get a cut of their card sales, we're definitely going to see a lot of bigger athletes get into sports cards. Not only that, but endorse sports cards, do Instagram lives. We'll see sports cards in arenas. I truly believe that we're still in the day one in terms of what the possibilities are with Fanatics. And if you look at Fanatics' history and all they've really been able to accomplish, I don't see pretty much any industry they've gone into that they haven't blown up. And that is really important when you look at the landscape of things right now. I definitely understand that given the current amount of people in the sports card hobby, given the current prices, the current state of the economy, of course, I don't believe that prices for base cards are going to hold up maybe in the short term. Maybe in the short term, they're going to continue to decline. But if you take more of a macro perspective and understand that Fanatics is over 80 million worldwide sports fans in their user base, that they literally can potentially turn them into sports card collectors and investors, I truly believe that it's still day one. We're starting to see sports cards pop into all new spots. Of course, Amazon's been huge for sports cards recently. There's a lot of other bigger, brands out there that are starting to kind of either post boxes for sale, cards for sale, and then we're also seeing a lot of celebrities starting to break cards. So I definitely believe that we're still in day one in terms of popularity. Now, do I believe a Luka Doncic base Prism PSA 10 is the best investment of Luka Doncic? If you're going to invest in Luka Doncic, if you believe in Luka Doncic, I don't believe that the base is the way to go. But I truly believe that overprinting is not going to collapse the sports card economy like a lot of people are saying. Because, if Jordan can release 100,000 plus sneakers of each colorway every single week, I truly believe that if sports cards really come out to the mainstream, 18,000 is nothing in the grand scheme of things in terms of Luka Doncic fans, in terms of sports collectors, in terms of what people spend to go watch sports games, what people spend for their teams, their favorite players, the jerseys they buy, with everything taken into consideration. I truly believe that if sports cards can get that look of the mainstream, although a lot of base collectors don't like it, and I totally understand that. For you guys who are watching this, who are collectors and you're totally against and biased against sports cards becoming mainstream, look, I totally understand. If you're a collector from day one, it's tougher to collect, and I definitely get that. But I just think if we're, this at the end of the day is an investment channel, and I think in terms of investments, going for those lower pop cards is going to really pay off in the long term. However, I believe that demand overall will be enough to bear out the supply of 18,000 cards. And I know it sounds silly right now to say with sports card prices, with the overall sports card economy, there's a lot of the same people in it. It's more tight-knit right now. It hasn't really reached the mainstream. But I know for sure that Fanatics is going to start their marketing campaigns. And when that happens, I almost guarantee that no matter what, the amount of people into sports cards is going to rise. At a baseline, I can say that very confidently. How that affects prices, that's kind of up for interpretation. I personally believe it's going to be really great for prices of sports cards, more demand. And of course, I definitely believe in the long-term demand will meet supply for a lot of these cards. And that is why you guys have seen, I've been pretty much making a lot of videos explaining that I'm buying a lot right now. I truly believe that, like any market, if you look at the stock market, for example, if you look at crypto, we can always see those big dips, and each and every time it's dipped, we've seen prices go back up, and each and every time there's so much cynicism, there's so many people saying it's never going to recover. But if you look at the stock market for the last 100 years, each and every time we've seen a big dip, it's recovered. And I will say one thing, if it was just sports cards that were declining in price and the economy was perfectly fine, I would be a little bit scared, because that would potentially mean that the interest in sports cards is declining. But I will tell you guys one thing, just based on being in the hobby, being very connected, going to many shows, of course, having an Instagram page, having a YouTube page, I will say that the interest in sports cards is, in my interpretation, at an all-time high, or at least very close to an all-time high. I understand there's a lot of people who have left, mainly like flippers, who I would say were just there for the big opportunity at first. But I truly believe that we're in a very healthy state in terms of investors, in terms of bigger people coming into the hobby, bigger firms taking the hobby more seriously. In terms of shows, we're seeing all-time turnouts. If you guys don't know, the Nationals coming up this month, and they're expecting the most people they've ever had at any national sports card convention. So the interest is there, and that's why I'm personally not worried. I think it's a matter of time before the economy turns back. And in terms of sports cards really becoming mainstream with Fanatics, with athletes, Fanatics has pretty much every single athlete signed to them. So I definitely don't doubt that they're going to be in the future LeBron James, guys of that caliber, going Instagram Live, promoting sports cards, and we're really going to start to see that playing out. And that's my personal opinion. I mean, of course, this is an open conversation. I definitely want this comment section to be, full of people's opinions, what you personally believe is going to happen, because at the end of the day, these are just my opinions. This is just based on what I've seen, what I've heard, and what I believe and what I put together. I definitely don't expect everybody to agree with me. Of course, a lot of people probably don't, given that more people are selling than buying right now. And I totally understand that, but I can't wait to look back at this video like years from now. And, hopefully I'm right? So I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys do like these one-on-one talks with you guys, definitely drop a like and comment letting me know what you are investing in right now if you're investing. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. And other than that, I'm out. Peace.